Alright, this is a complete guide for everything you need to know about destroying, getting rid of any ruts you might have ever had, and actually being productive. At the end of each part, we're also gonna give you like an actual practical example on how to implement each principle I'm gonna talk about. Also, this is completely unedited, so there's gonna be no flashy shit. It's just me talking. In fact, I'm probably gonna look away half the time because I got a fucking notes here. Other than that, you could skip to this part right here of the video if you don't want to hear the epilogue, which is just me explaining some basic shit, and you just want to get straight to it, to the tips and shit. I recommend you stay though, because there's some important information there. Alright, without further ado, let's do this shit. Alright, first of all, this is the epilogue. Let's actually explain to you what the fuck a rut even is in the first place. So, a rut, like in one sentence, is just your discipline skill being reset. So what do we mean by that? Well, discipline, we hear it a lot of times. Like, I'm so disciplined. He's so disciplined. He can do anything. He never misses this. He always trains. He trains hard. What discipline actually is just the ability to defy your inclinations. So let me break that down as well. You have things you want to do by nature, right? By nature, you might be lazy. You might not really want to do anything. Or by nature, you're really hardworking. Well, discipline is just the skill, and I'm going to emphasize that, the skill, not the talent, the skill of defying that inclination, of not doing that thing you're inclined to do, of not playing that game, of not engaging in whatever behavior you want to engage in by nature. Right? And a rut is just you have not used the skill in so long that just like a muscle, it shrank. It's gone now, or at least it's smaller. It's so small, in fact, that you can't really bring yourself to resist any inclination, so you don't work at all. So that's what a rut is. Now, before I explain to you how we actually get to actually defeat this thing and actually completely get rid of the rut, I gotta explain to you a very core principle in all this, which is growth mindset. Growth mindset, again, in one sentence, let's break it down. Growth mindset is literally just the belief that you can change. That's it. It's not some fancy exercise. It's not some crazy concept. It's literally you believing that you as yourself can change, that your habits can change, that your personality can change, that your character can change, that your work ethic can change, that any feature about you can actually change. Maybe not some physical ones, right? We can't naturally change our faces unless we do surgery, right? It's just not possible. But other than that, like, the belief that even your muscle mass can change, the belief that your future can change. And it sounds so simple, but most of us don't realize that we're actually very low in this skill. And yes, it's a skill, like most things in life, because you can strengthen that belief, you can prove it right, or you can also not utilize it. You can get into a doomer mindset and think that everything's gonna go bad. So it's a skill that we can develop. And that's actually really good news, because it means that you don't have to be birthed with all these. You don't have to have good genetics to be disciplined. You don't have to have good genes to have fucking growth mindset. Hell, you don't even have to have good parents. You can work on this yourself. You have the power to do it. And that's something really important for you to understand if you actually want to make a change. Because otherwise, you're always going to blame something else, and when you blame something else, well, you have no control over it. It's something else that's doing it. But when you put the focus on yourself, then it gives you the ability to actually change something. So let's do just that and get that growth mindset. Alright, now that we've explained the basics, and if you skip to this timestamp right here, you might hear some analogy terms that you haven't heard before, so I'll quickly explain them every time I say them. So, how do we actually fucking get rid of a rut? Because all the concepts is cool and all, but this isn't a fucking lecture. It's just, I actually want to destroy the rut. I actually want to work, right? So, what you need to do is use growth mindset to develop your discipline skill. A growth mindset is just the belief that you can change, and discipline is just defining your inclinations. So, let's translate all that gibberish into English. Like, what the fuck did I just say? I said something really fancy and blah blah blah. Well, what I mean is that if you believe that you can change and that you can actually make a difference, then obviously you want to exercise that belief. You want to actually use it. You want to fucking change something about yourself, right? So what we do is we change our discipline skill, which is our ability to say nuh-uh to what we want to do naturally. So let's say naturally you want to sit for 13 hours a day and play video games. Well, if you develop your discipline skill enough, then you can defy that. You can say, nuh-uh, I'm going to work today. Nuh-uh, I'm going to go and exercise in the park today. Okay, but that's all theory. That's the basic concept. What the fuck? What the fuck do I mean by developing it? Okay, let's think about it logically. Let's give like the classic example of the gym. How would we develop strength in the gym? Well, we would start with really light weights, and once we get into it, we would start making the weights heavier and heavier. We would increase the load, right? That's the same. It's the same concept here. If you want to develop this discipline skill, you can't start by fucking going on a 3-mile run. Or you can't start by immediately cleaning everything and being perfect and working 100%. You can't. You're too fucking weak right now. You're scrawny as fuck. How the fuck are you gonna lift that 100-kilogram weight off the floor? You're gonna break your spine. It's not gonna work. So why would you do this the same thing with your discipline skill? Or your growth mindset skill? So, practically, how would we do this? Well, we would start with something easy. Something easy to do. Like cleaning your room. Like ordering your bed. Like staring at the window for like a minute. Just standing up and staring at the sky for a minute. Doing something that you don't usually do isn't hurtful to you, obviously, but that also is extremely easy to do. And preferably you can do something from your home. Because getting outside your home is actually a big hallmark and a big achievement. And it sounds stupid, but it is. It's a big achievement when you're in a rut. So you don't want to start there. You want to start lower. You want to make it so fucking easy that there's no way you're not going to do it. Now, in all of this, you might have already had the thought in your brain. Oh, what the fuck is ordering my bed gonna do? What the fuck is cleaning my room gonna do? What the fuck is staring at the sky gonna do? It's not gonna help. You need to actually work. And technically, you're right. However, the problem is you're judging yourself too hard. Because think of it this way. You haven't done these things. So doing these things is already defying your inclinations. You're already making progress. You're already starting to lift that small weight. And judging yourself too hard is just gonna kill any motivation you had to keep doing that. When you judge yourself so hard and make the benchmark for something worthy so high, you can't do it. You can't go to the gym and start with the 100-kilogram weights. You can't. Get that shit out of your head. Get that little demon in your head, because your brain, okay? Your brain's telling you this. And here's the deal. Your brain got you into this rut in the first place. So why are you trusting your brain to get you out of the rut? You should trust the method that people have already tried, that I've tried. I've already gotten out of a rut like a week ago. Look at my upload schedule. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You wanna get rid of a rut? Well, here we have a proven method that works. And your brain right here, this little shithead that already got you in this mess in the first place, now he's trying to convince you that no, you're doing this wrong. Bullshit. He's bullshitting you. Don't trust him. Don't trust him. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. And we're gonna get deeper into this later. But just remember to not judge yourself too hard. Even if you fail, even if you do something that seems so fucking insignificant, because it's not. Because you're gonna live more than 2 fucking days, and progress is gonna stack on top of itself. Alright? So just keep that in your head. Alright, so let me just recap this thing real quick for you to, if in case you got overwhelmed. But in order to get out of a rut, we want to increase our discipline skill by using growth mindset. So, let me translate that in English. If we want to actually fucking work for once, we need to make yourself more disciplined and gain more discipline by challenging ourselves in a way that's actually challenging, but not too challenging that we won't actually do it. So, just like with the gym, we want to slowly increase the weight, and consistency and not judging yourself and actually fucking doing it is the key here. So believing you can change, then actually changing something, then slowly changing more and more. Alright, so far I haven't actually said anything too revolutionary. This is all public knowledge. This is shit people have said before. Like, you might have already heard about these type of things in different framing. You might have heard of, like, dopamine with Andrew Huberman. He's saying things that are very similar to what I'm saying. However, I'm looking at the script, don't worry about it. I am going to actually tell you the plan. Because so far I've been very up in the air. Well, let's actually answer how the fuck we would structure such a plan. Well, let's start from the first day. On the first day, I'm gonna assume, again, you're completely in a rut. You're fucking 16 hours, you're not sleeping, you're just sitting in your room, rotting away. Okay? I'm gonna assume you're in the worst of the worst. If you're not in the worst of the worst, you can just skip to whatever day is relevant to you. But let's start with day 1. Day 1 is crucial. It's gonna either be the hardest or the easiest. It depends on what type of person you are. What you're gonna do in day 1 is do something so fucking rudimentary, so fucking simple, that there's no way you're gonna do it. What you're gonna do is just take the sheets off your bed, fold them, and put them in your fucking locker, or wherever the fuck you put them. I don't know the word in English. Closet. Yeah, closet. Guys, closet. You gotta put it in the closet. Then you're gonna take your fucking what's it called? The fucking pillow. You're gonna put that shit in the closet as well, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. You're just gonna fold these both. You're gonna organize them and put them in the closet. That's it. You're free to play that 16-hour games with no guilt, because you've done the work for today. Tomorrow, however, you're gonna do the same thing once you wake up. Obviously, you need a pillow to sleep, but once you do, you get those things in order, and then you're also going to take you're gonna take some fucking paper and some wet towels and all that, and you're just gonna clean your desk real quick. Just give it a quick fucking clean, 1 minute. That's it. You do these 2 things, again, you're free. Do your 16 hours of fucking video games. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Then, the next day, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do these 2 things again, and also you're going to take out the trash. And that's it. Again, you're free to sleep at 4 or 5 a.m. Just do these 3 things. Now, on the 4th day, you can write this down as well if it helps you to remember it all. On the 4th day, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do all these things, and also, what you're also gonna do, and this is one of the key parts, you're going to sleep half an hour earlier than you did yesterday. Okay? And again, other than that, you don't need to change anything. You can if you want, if you can feel you can handle it, but this is the bare minimum. So, organize your bed, clean your desk, take out the trash, and also sleep half an hour earlier. Then the next day, you're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna sleep half an hour even earlier. So if you were at the start sleeping at 5 in the morning, now you're gonna sleep at 4. And then the next day, you're gonna add another half an hour, and then another half an hour, and then another half an hour, until you reach the hour that you actually want to wake in. wake up in. Okay? Like, let's say you actually want to wake up at 7 a.m. Once you reach that hour, jackpot. That's when you do the big shift. That's when you actually fucking change it all. What do I mean by that? Well, up until now, you have been playing video games, you've been, I don't know, fucking smoking some shit, you haven't done anything, right? You've literally just done some basic actions, and you've slept earlier. That's it. However, now what you're gonna do, once you've reached that point, which I can't tell you an exact day, because I don't know what hour you wake up in. Once you've reached the desired hour, on the first day, what you're gonna do is, instead of going to your PC immediately, going to your phone immediately, you're gonna get your ass off of bed. Before you even do the rudimentary things I've talked about. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take out a piece of paper. I'm gonna be very specific on this, not on the device. A piece of paper and a pen. Unless you don't have these things. Again, it's not like the end of the world, but if you have these, use these. Take a piece of paper, take a pen, or a pencil, doesn't matter, and write out your plan. What you want to do. Because I can't tell you what you want to do in life. I'm not an oracle. I'm literally just a guy with a microphone and a phone. What you want to do is write out your plan. I can give you the first step though. The first step is to solidify that sleeping hour. That you must dedicate at least the next 2 to 3 days to actually making sure you sleep at that time, or at least close to it. If you sleep like 20 minutes later or earlier, it doesn't matter. But just make sure that you're used to actually sleeping in this. That all your systems calibrated. You're not gonna wake up again at 5, or you're not gonna fucking sleep at 5 a.m. again. Out of the blue. And the second step is to getting rid of whatever bad habit you were doing while you were in a rut. So that means that, I'll give my example. I was playing video games. Cut that out as much as you can. Okay? And this is pretty obvious. Why do we cut it out? Because, well, it's going to distract you. If you're going to play video games, you're going to feel like you want to play more, and then you're going to sleep late again, and then you're going to have to restart the whole thing. It's counterproductive. But also, and here's the crucial part. The most important part of all this. Because, let's actually think about it logically. You wake up at 7 a.m. You don't do the thing you're usually used to. You've got a few rudimentary actions, but then you've got empty time. What do you do in this empty time? You're gonna be bored eventually, and you're gonna be tempted to do the bad thing again. Well, you insert something else. Instead of playing the video games, I work on my PC now, on my channel. Instead of fucking smoking, you go hang out with friends. Other friends. Not the friends that fucking make you smoke. Or you can tell them, I don't smoke. Whatever you prefer. I'll prefer you get new friends, but I know that's hard. That's really hard. That's a lot to ask. So just make sure you don't do bad habit with them. That's all. Or if you, I don't know, maybe your habit was fucking scrolling on your bed. Now you're gonna get out of bed and do something else. And I can't tell you all this again because I don't know what you want to do. So utilize that boredom, because when you're bored, you're gonna think of shit. You're gonna think of, what if I do this? What if I do this? What if I do this? And eventually you get an idea that you actually want to fucking do. So I can give you examples, right? I can give my examples. I work on my PC, I go train, I go on runs, I go on walks, I fucking draw sometimes. But I can't tell you what you want to do with your life. That's stupid, and it's just stupid me saying that. So don't just get rid of the bad habits. Don't just solidify your sleep. Those are like the basic steps. Those are like the foundation of this all. But you need something to actually build on that foundation, right? Like a foundation in itself is fucking useless. So what's on top of the foundation is the good habits. The good shit. The shit you actually want to do. Hell, get a job. Get a job, do your homework. I don't know where age you're at. Do your homework, get a job, fucking whatever. I can't tell you. Again, I can't give you the answer. I'm sorry, not sorry, motherfucker. But you're gonna need to think about it. It's not just listening to some guy that's gonna change your life. You actually need to do this shit. You actually need to think about what you want to do. Because if I tell you something and you do it, there's a good chance where eventually you get bored of it because it's not really something you thought of and it's something you really want to do. So find that thing. Think about it. Be bored. Be fucking bored. Be fucking bored until you find the shit you want to do. And I'm gonna give you like a heads up. This is probably the toughest stage because you're gonna be bored and you're gonna be inclined to use the fucking thing that was burning time before. And if you succumb to it sometimes, it's fine. Again, you don't want to judge yourself too hard on these type of things. Treat yourself like a sick person who's healing and it takes time and shit. Like, you don't heal instantly. But don't cope with it either. Like, if you want to know if you're coping or not, if the general direction, if like every day, like the trend is your time on the bad habit is going down and your time on the good habit is going up, then you're fine. You're fine. If the trend is the opposite, then that's a problem. That means you're coping. That means you need to focus harder, or you're going at this too fast, or there's another problem, which I'll have a Q&A later, so maybe you're going to find the answer there. But as long as the general trend is better, you're fine. You're more than fine. You're doing very well. You should be proud of yourself, actually. Alright? So, recapping. We fucking increase our discipline skill. We destroyed ruts with it. We remember the growth mindset that we can change. It's possible. And we make sure to not judge ourselves too hard. And once we fucking get to a good point where we're sleeping normally and we're actually in the right state of mind, then we write out a plan. The first step is to solidify the sleep hours. The second step is to destroy the bad habits. And the third step, which goes at the same time as the second step, is to get a good habit instead of it. Instead of the bad one. And I can't tell you which is which because I don't know your fucking life. I don't know what you want. Now, you might have a really good question. How do I know which habit is bad and which habit is good? Well, let's think about it in a diagram. I'm going to use some fancy words. We've got how addictive this habit is and how productive it is for me. So, I'll give you an example for each. You can have a habit that's very addictive, but not very productive. Like video games. They're extremely addictive, but they don't provide anything much other than entertainment. Then on the other hand, we can have something that's not very productive, but also not very addictive. Like painting. You can't really get addicted to painting. Like, it's just not that addicting by nature, but it's also not that productive because you're just drawing. You're just painting. So, then we've got something that's extremely addictive, but also extremely productive. Like, training at the gym. Once you get really used to it, once you really enjoy it, it can be very addictive. It can. Like, right now it might not be, but if you really enjoy it, it can be very addictive. But it's also very productive, because it's very healthy for you, it's very good for you, it's healthy basically in every fucking way conceivable. So that's an example of that. But then we've also got something that's not very addictive, but very productive. Like a boring job. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's just a way to make money. You don't really care about it. You're definitely not going to get addicted to it. But it's also extremely productive because, well, it's how you produce for now. So, think about this diagram. If something is very addictive, but not very productive, that's a bad habit. So, that's how we know that video games, smoking, scrolling, it's all bad for you because it's not very productive, but it's extremely addictive. So, if you think about it from a logic perspective, you're going to burn a lot of time on it, but you're not going to get anything out of it. It's a you don't get anything much of it. It's a very bad investment. It's called that. Then we have something that's very non-addictive, but also something that's not really productive, like painting. That's what we call a hobby. Something you can do if you really want. Like, don't really mind it. Like, you can do it if you want. It's like you can make it a hobby, you can do it as like a side thing, but you probably shouldn't center your life around it because you're not going to enjoy it that much. Then, we also have things that are very addictive and very productive. That is what we call a jackpot. That is a good habit. That is extremely good for you. That's like a super habit, let's call that. So, training, talking with people, that can be addictive. It can be addictive to socialize. You'd be surprised. Anything like that. It's very rare to give examples because there's very few things that are like that. It's almost too perfect to be true. Then we have the other good habits, which are not very addictive, but very productive. So things like meditating, like fucking working, like all that. Again, working is a bad example because depending on the work, you can be addicted to it. But it's not as addicting as video games, for example, or as fucking crack, right? It's not on the same level. So, as long as it's very productive, it's a good habit. If it's not very productive and not very addicting, you can do it if you want, but you're not going to enjoy it that much. And if it's really addictive and it's not productive, then it's a bad habit. Okay? So, addictive, not productive, bad. Productive and addictive, very good. Not addictive and productive is fine. It's still a good habit. And if it's not either of those, it's just kind of there. Don't worry about it. Q&A time. Let's answer some really brief questions that you probably have by now. First of all, what if I fail? What if I don't clean my fucking desk? What if I don't organize my bed? Hell, what if I do these things right for the first week and then I all of a sudden sleep at 5 a.m.? Or even if I'm a month into it or whatever. First of all, remember this is a lifelong journey. As long as you're fucking alive, then you're gonna have to deal with these things. Because life, like a lot of people have this idea of like retirement. We don't retire from life. The only retirement from life you get is fucking dying. So as long as you're alive, you're gonna have problems to solve. So don't think about the speed of these things and such. Think about the trajectory and think about the long term here. The progress. Okay? So, first of all, remember that you're always going to have to fight this battle. It's just going to sometimes be harder and sometimes it's going to be easier. So, once we've internalized that, what the fuck do we actually do if we fail? Well, I'll give 2 examples. Let's say I failed at the second day. I did not clean my desk. I didn't do it. Well, that just means that on the day next, you're going to have to fucking organize your bed and clean your desk. You don't pile up. I'm gonna emphasize, you don't pile up tasks. You do not do you don't clean your desk, organize your bed, and also take out the trash on the third day if you haven't done it the day before. You also don't reverse. You don't if it's just been one day, you don't need to reverse. You don't need to just organize your bed now. No, what you do is you organize your bed and you clean your desk. However, let's say you've been stuck for a week. You haven't organized your bed, and you have organized your bed this whole time, but you haven't cleaned your desks at all. What we do if we've been stuck, then only then we can regress. We would do something even simpler than that. So we would fucking organize the bed, and then stare at the window for a minute. Do something even easier. Okay? Oh, but only if we've been stuck for a while. And never do we pile up. Because think about it from a weights perspective. If we translate this into a gym analogy, then it's like asking, what if we haven't lifted for a while? Well, if you haven't lifted for a while, then yeah, you probably want to regress the weights a bit. But if you haven't lifted just once, then you probably don't want to already download, but you also probably don't want to train twice more, because you're going to be more tired the next day. So we haven't done anything here. We've just fucked ourselves twice. So what do we do? No. If you haven't trained once, then you just do it again as if nothing happened on the next day. But if you haven't trained in a while, then we just go down with the weights a bit, appropriate to how much we haven't trained. It's the same thing here. Think about it, because again, since it's a skill, it works pretty similar to muscle. Alright? So that's if we haven't been consistent. Now I'm gonna give you the second example, which is gonna make you this clearer for you. let's say that you have been perfect for a week, even a week and a half. You've slept at the right times, and now you're actually waking up at 7 a.m. You have actually been perfect this whole time, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you sleep at 5 a.m. It's like nothing happened, right? And that can be so fucking annoying, so fucking demotivating. Because it's like, what the fuck? I was perfect. I had it. I got it. Well, think about it again from the gym perspective. You've been training consistently for a while, and then all of a sudden you have this straight week where you haven't done anything. And it's like, what the fuck? What happened? Well, shit like that just happens sometimes. And we accept it. And since it was just one day, well, what I would do in this specific example is actually something that's going to sound really stupid, but it's going to make sense. I would actually not sleep. If I went to sleep at 5 a.m. and I wanted to wake up at 7 the next day, what I would do is I would not actually go to sleep at 5 a.m. I would say fuck it. Because think of it this way. If you sleep right now, then you're going to be awake at fucking at really late hour. And then it's going to be really hard for you to sleep at 7. So if it's just one day, what I would do is I wouldn't straight up not sleep at 5 a.m. I would consider that day gone and wasted. So I would essentially slug through the day, maybe chug some coffee, and then go to sleep at 7. Or even 6. I would probably go even earlier. I would go to 6 or 6.5. And then I would continue as if nothing happened. Now, if that doesn't work, then you could sleep at 5 and just like do a light version of the progression. So let's say you wake up at fucking, let's see, 6, 7, 8. You wake up at 1 in the afternoon. Well, you could now try sleeping at 10 or 11. Like sleep as early as you can, essentially, and then do like a quick version of the progression you've already done before, like speed things up. But or you can go with the boom approach. It sounds like a crotch. Both of these work. It just depends on your situation in that moment, and you can just test it out. Because again, you're probably not gonna die tomorrow, so think about it from the long term. It's not really about speed here. We're really not optimizing for speed here. We're optimizing for actually fucking getting out of the rut permanently, or at least as permanent as possible. Okay. So that's what happens if you skip a day. And it's fine. Again, don't judge yourself too hard. It's hard to do these type of shit. You're fighting your own brain. That's not easy. Okay? So that's it. Now, we might have another question. How do I know it's working? And if you're asking this question, that means you haven't been paying too much attention. It rhymes, so you know it's true. You just look at the trajectory. You don't look at feedback from other people. That's very important. You can get compliments and you can feel nice about them, but don't take that as a sign you're improving. What you want to look is you should probably write this down actually. That'll make it way easier to remember. But if you have a good memory, you don't need to do it. What you need to look is at the trajectory. Am I now used to going to sleep earlier than I did a week ago? Is my house less dirty than a week ago? Or do I clean it more often than a week ago? Okay? You compare yourself to what you were before, and you see if the general trajectory is positive or negative. If it's been negative, and it's been like that for a while, I would say 2 to 3 days at minimum, then that means we have a problem. Either something else is bothering you, and it's distracting you and making you feel so bad you can't really work, or you're just being fucking lazy. It's one of the two. But if your trajectory is positive, don't worry about anything else. Don't worry what people might tell you. Don't worry about maybe your parents are telling you, oh, you haven't done anything. Or maybe your friends are like, what are you doing? Or you've changed type of shit. No. Don't give a shit about what anyone else says. Look at the facts. Look at the objective facts staring down your face. Either you've improved in a while, or you have went backwards in a while. Not in one day, Not even 2 days. A minimum of 3 days. A minimum of 3 days is the minimum for you to know, but I would do it on a weekly basis. Like, I would evaluate myself every 2 to 3 days, but I wouldn't take it as serious feedback until a week. Okay? So, that's how you know if you're making progress or not. The long-term trajectory, not everyday events, not feedback from other people. Hell, not even feedback from yourself. Just look at the objective trajectory and fuck everything else. Alright? So that's how you know you're in the right track. Okay. Now, I'm gonna try to like think of any other questions you might have. So, fuck failed, answer that. Fuck fucking, how do I know I'm improving? Answer that. What else is on your mind right now? Because again, I want you to actually fucking get out of the rut. I know how it feels like. Okay. Oh yeah, here's a good question. What if I have a job? Like, what if there's outside factors that, in general, like that constrain me? So, for example, let's say you're working a night job, and you can't fucking wake up at 7 because then you're gonna be dead tired for your job and you're gonna sleep 3 hours because you work at night. Well, first of all, a night job in general is a bad idea. But if, let's say, you're super poor and you have no options, then you just gotta deal with it. You just gotta like work around it. That's why again I was a bit up in the air about the hour, because you want to adjust your schedule to your life. So again, if you don't have to work a night job, you're just working it because you're like 18 and you really want that money, I would say get rid of the day job and get a night job and get a day job instead. Or at least a job you can manage with more normal sleeping hours. Because a night job is just going to have so many bad effects on you. It's why they pay you more. Because they know it's bad for you and you don't want to do it. But if you really have to deal with it, then, well, you really have to deal with it. You just wake up at like 1 instead. That's your target hour. But other than that, all the bad habits and everything else we said, that still applies. Don't fucking say, oh, but I work late, I won't have the energy for that. No. Just because you work late doesn't mean you can't have a good life. Okay? So, whatever outside factors you have, if you can't get rid of them, if there's no way you can get rid of them, I have kids, you know, let's say that. I don't have kids, I'm 18, dude. But let's say you have kids, you have family, you have some parents you need to take care of, you have a fucking job that you have to pay for your fucking rent. Then work with these. But if you have a way, any way to deal with them. Like, let's say you're living alone right now and you have to work, but your parents are still fine and they would take you back. I would say go back to your parents. Even if they're a bit even if they're a bit abusive. As long as they're not like so abusive that you can't do anything near them, then I would say go back to these parents. Okay? I would say go back and live with your parents. Because giving yourself the freedom to slowly improve again and the peace of mind is what's going to actually let you do this whole thing. Because if you're too busy and you're in quote-unquote survival mode from abusive parents, from a night job, from not having time to breathe, then you're not going to have the physical energy to do anything of the things I'm talking about. And you're just going to spin in circles. Okay? So, if there's a constraint there's no way you're getting rid of, then work around it, work with it, just accept it. But if there's any way for you to get rid of that obstacle, do it. Even if it means going back and living with your parents for a while. Even if it means looking like a loser. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, once you actually get rid of that rut, and hell, maybe even work better than you were before that, you're not gonna regret it. Trust me. You won't even want to go back. It'll be so good that even if you boot up a game right now, if I boot up a video game right now, I tried this yesterday. I was bored as fuck, so I booted up a game. I didn't want to play it. I was miserable. I had to force myself to try to play it, and I didn't even do it at the end. Because I didn't really want to. I lost the will to do the bad thing. So, that's amazing. I'll just say, sorry, that's fucking amazing. So, You want that? You want to literally enjoy the good things more than you do the bad things? That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And if it means looking like a loser for a while, and if it means everyone thinking, oh my god, he's literally just fucking organized his bed today. That's it. He hasn't done anything. Oh, I don't even notice that. Doesn't matter. Tell him to shut the fuck up. Tell your brain to shut the fuck up. Because you're making progress. And that's what matters. But if you can't get rid of it, it's just a part of it. You can't do anything about it anyway. Don't worry about it. Stress about it as least as you can and just try to structure your life around it. Okay? So, that's about concerns outside of your control. Distinguish if it's actually out of your control. And if it truly is, just structure your life around it, man. There's nothing else I can really tell you. It's just life is life, man. It's not gonna pan out perfectly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Q&A. Any other questions? I think you could think of them yourself. They're probably more specific. But now that we've recapped this whole thing, we've talked about what a rut is, we've talked about discipline, we talked about the plan, everything else. Let's actually build a detailed plan together. Okay, we're gonna build a step-by-step plan for a month. Okay, and for anyone too lazy to actually fucking write it for themselves, this plan here is gonna be linked in the description. You can literally just copy paste it for yourself, but I would highly adjust it to your needs. Because you and I don't have the same life. I have a very strange life, actually. I don't work. So I have more time for this shit. Because I live with my parents and I don't work. So my situation is probably not like your situation. Like, I don't even have school anymore. So I'm essentially like ideal conditions, let's call it. But you might not have that. You probably don't have that. So adjust the plan according to your needs. But if you're really lazy, you can just copy paste for me. So let's do this shit. Alright, we're in Word right now, and let's actually do this shit. Although, I would recommend you write this on paper. I'm just doing it on the PC so you can more easily see it. Okay? So let's start. Day 1. Again, I'm assuming you're completely in a rut. You haven't done anything with your life. So let's start with organize bed. That's it. And then we write day 2. Day 2, we fucking organize bed, and then we clean desk. That's it. Then day 3, we would do organize bed, clean desk, and then we would also add another thing. So I would say, let's see. Vacuum room. Yeah. Then on day 4, we would write organize bed, clean. And then let's say you sleep at 5 a.m. usually. Sleep for 30 a.m. Okay. Now, the reason I'm writing it like this and not just like all of the above or shorting it is because when you're gonna do this on paper, what you want to do is you want to add like a little box near every one of these, and then if you do these things, you just like write a little V on it, but if you don't do it, you just write an X. Okay, so why are we writing it like this? So if you remember what I said before about trend, then you can actually see the trend. You can actually say, hey, am I improving or not? So it's gonna make it way easier for you to track shit, and it's just gonna be way more rewarding because it's just remembering in your head I did this is less rewarding than like writing a little check mark. It gives you like a little bonus dopamine, it just makes you a bit happier, and that's always good. Let me write day 5. Which is organize bed, clean desk, vacuum room, sleep 4 a.m. Then day 6, organize bin. And so on. Okay, now I'm gonna skip a bit so you won't get bored. Let's say we're at, let's do the math. Hold on, we got fucking 3. Okay, I'm gonna skip a bit to the actual time where you've actually managed to sleep at the right time. Like, this is the first day you've actually managed to sleep at the desired hour. Now what I would do is I would write day 1 again. No, it's because I'm not too lazy to do the math here. I am, but that's beside the point. It's because we essentially see this as the start of you actually being productive. So you're gonna write day 1, sleep 7 a.m. But wait, no, I really like this, dude. You gotta be consistent with the type of shit. So sleep at 23. Okay. And then also no video games. Okay. But also, since again we want to do the good habits, right? So we would write sleep at the right time, no video games, and then write whatever you want to actually do. Now, instead of just writing it like this, that's gonna take you ages. What I would do is, remember those like timetables we had at school, of where we would fucking we had like 4:30 do this, 4:20 class A, then class B, and then a break, and blah blah blah. You can write literally the same thing for yourself. So let me just do it real quick. This is a timetable, so let's say 7 a.m. Wait, fucking languages. 7. Hold on. So alright, we got the table. Let's now say, oh, fucking hell. Okay, we got the table. Now let's say 7. We wake up. I was gonna write me do. Wake up. Toilet. No, wait. Bathroom. It sounds more fancy. Bathroom. And I would specifically recommend sunlight. So, sunlight. It's just gonna make you more awake if you get some sun into your eyes. Okay. It's like how you want to sleep in the dark, right? So you want sunlight to like wake you up. Okay. So 7 a.m. wake up, bathroom, sunlight. Then we would write 7:10. Let's say, or 7:05. All right, 7:10. And for me, it would be YouTube work. Okay. And then I would like give myself a break. So 40 break. And then let's see, 8:50 YouTube work. Now this is very general, but it should help you. So then 10 for me, that's when I eat. So eat, fucking word, ancient fucking thing. So this is the fucking schedule so far, and you keep writing this, and like you can go into extreme detail with this. Like let's say you write 12. Like go into detail with this type of shit. Dishes. And then you would write 12:20. Let's see. Put clothes in washing machine. Like I'm talking, go as much into detail with this. In fact, here you should probably be more specific than this. Like what work are you gonna do? So here, for example, instead of that, I would write 7:10 editing. Okay, I would just remove it. Okay, cool. I'm not exactly a machine person. So yeah, you gotta be more specific with this type of shit. Okay? Like, I'm talking going to stupid, simple, like, fucking, here, like, let's say, 7:30, brush teeth. Like, go into autistic level of details of this type of shit, because you're literally gonna follow it like that. And you're gonna write a table like this for each day. Okay? Every day of the week, you're gonna have a table for this now. You're gonna bring some fucking order into your life. And then once you have the table, what you're gonna remember the V's we did here, you're gonna do the same thing here. So let's say this is your thing now. Write a V if you actually wake up at this and you did these things. In fact, write a V near every single one. That's also the advantage of writing this on paper. It's way easier to do these type of things. So write a V here, V here, V here. Then adding X, I didn't do it. Or break V, obviously I didn't do anything. So 10, eat V, dishes V, this X, X. And then what you're gonna have is actually feedback. Like, you're gonna have fucking feedback here. Now, after a week, I wouldn't rewrite the thing. What I would actually do is write the timetable I want for each day, like the thing I'm gonna have from now on, and every day is gonna look like that. So again, you can have different things. You can do, like, on Sundays, for example, different things than fucking Mondays, right? Like, it doesn't have to be the exact same day every day. You should also probably adjust it to your life, because again, I don't have a job, so I can basically play with this, but you probably have some other constraint. So adjust that, adjust the days as you need, but you want to have like a format for every day. Essentially, every day of the week, you should have a timetable for this. That's like artistic level of details. And once you have that fucking timetable, what you want to do is, instead of writing V on everyone, because then you're gonna have to rewrite the whole thing again, you want to hang it over your fucking wall. Okay? I would show it to you, but it's like really fucking... Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me pause this fucking... Let me just show you. Okay? Alright, so here it's kind of hard to see, but this is basically the schedule that I have for every week, and this is exactly what you want to do. After the first week, you're gonna just hang it in front of you in your room, and for me, it's even like right in front of my bed. So literally every time I wake up, it's one of the first things I see. So after the first week, again, this is not the first week type of thing. You write it out, you put it in front of your fucking face, so you don't forget it, and that's how you hold yourself accountable. Because you're gonna know if you didn't do shit, because it's gonna be right in front of you. So you don't have to rewrite it every week. You can if you want, but I would rather do this. Okay? So have it written, have it straight in your face, and yeah. Alright, we've seen the schedule, we've seen the practical example. This shit's linked in the description. Both my actual timetable and this format, this fucking plan, they're both linked. So you could just fucking download them, adjust them as you wish. It's just a Word document. And yeah. Other than that, I just want to thank you for watching this fucking 1 hour video. Like, holy shit. I just gotta give you like a holy shit. Your attention span's pretty fucking good. If this is you in a rut, imagine you not being in a rut. Even if you're worst, you can listen to a fucking hour-long video with no editing. Let's see. Anything else I would want to tell you? Not really. Just stay on it. Forget it's the fucking trajectory. It's the general progress. Not the everyday type of shit. Okay, so don't judge yourself too hard. And just stick to the plan as much as you can. It rhymes, so you know it's true. Don't forget, sometimes you're gonna be fucked. Sometimes it's gonna work out. Sometimes some shit's gonna pop up. You might have a different schedule. But at the end of the day, as long as you keep these principles in mind, and you can also just rewatch the video, you know, like give me some more watch time. But as long as you keep these principles in mind, you'll be more than fine. In fact, you'll probably do better than people who aren't in a rut right now. Like, you'll do way better than them. Like, you'll be a fucking productivity machine, my guy. Like, you got a fucking timetable to brush your teeth, dude. Do you think you're not gonna be fucking productive with that type of shit? That's gonna be amazing, dude. Oh yeah, and before I go, touch grass, dumbass.